Hello everyone, Charles from the Bible Unbound. What I have for you guys today is the Christian Standard Bible's Everyday Study Bible. Alright, so this is the Everyday Study Bible by the Christian Standard Bible, produced by Holman. So we'll take a look at the back. The features include their concise study notes, articles from leading Bible scholars, 99 essential truths, Bible character profiles, charts, illustrations, and images, book introductions, 2-column text, 9.5 point type font, Smith-sewn binding, ribbon marker, concordance, and full color maps. So let's see if we can get the ISBN to show. We'll take it out of the slipcover. So as we look at this has this nice brown with this inlay that's kind of stamped, blind stamped in. It says Everyday Study Bible, Holman, Christian Standard Bible by Holman. And this is this kind of a leather touch sort of feel to it. It says that it is in LeatherTouch. So it's one of their other versions that kind of feels a little plasticky, but it does feel like it would be a little durable, which is good. Let's take a look at this. We'll open it up. So it has this nice blind stamp design. This nice gold gild. It's a pretty nice gild all the way around. And I'll open up and take out the ribbon quickly. Show you guys the ribbon. So this is a brown, looks like could be double-sided, shiny on both sides. So as we get to opening it, it is, now it's pasted, but it has a little tab block here. So it is pasted around this paste page. Glued down edges. Nice thick paste page to a nice presentation page. Everyday Study Bible. To the copyright page. Looks like it comes in 3 different styles. British Tan leather, charcoal LeatherTouch, navy cross LeatherTouch. Pretty nice. Straight table of contents with the books of the Bible. A note for the introduction for each book too. And an alphabetical list of the Bibles. Their introduction. And a list of their features. Like most standard study Bibles, this is, has the alternate translation list on the bottom. Their study notes that are separated out. The bolded text in the New Testament, illustrations and their introductions, and these essays that are actually spaced throughout like some of the other ones I've seen. List of their contributors. List of where their illustrations are and all the character profiles. The introduction to the Christian Standard Bible. So, here we say it every time. If you read the preface, you get a good idea of how they're translating it and why they chose certain things. And if they have any special features like cross-references, it helps you be able to understand how they're writing it out, and so that it makes it easier for you to find this cross-reference. And let's go back one. Commonly used abbreviations. And this nice little list here of the Bible in 3 acts. So Act 1, God's plan for all people. Act 2, God's covenant. Act 3, God's new covenant to the people. And 5 stages of thorough Bible study. I like this. Choosing a passage, study the broad historical context of the book, read the passage in several translations, choose keywords to study, and identify the main points and principles of the passage. So this 5 stages of Bible study is pretty similar to what my wife does in her lyric letter series for her devotionals. So she'll go in and pick one of the sections and dive more deep into it using multiple Bible translations, and with keyword study, be able to dive deeper and to get more meaning of what each passage is related to and how it relates to different versions and different aspects that you can then use in your life and your personal study. As we go back to the Old Testament, it looks like, so this has a full introduction to the Pentateuch too, which is very nice. It looks like it has a lot of key historical data in a pretty concise format. And the introduction is really nice. It's clean. It doesn't go into a lot of heavy detail. Gives you the author, date, the big picture summary, some key verses, some what they call food for thought sections, and certain takeaways that you might get from this. Looking through the first page in Genesis here, there's not a whole lot of bleed through. I like the separate delineation here of the study notes versus the actual text. Even though the text is a 9.5, looks like the study notes have to be at least a 7 on that scale. I don't have a scale with me, but it's pretty similar. Still very readable, even though it's a bit smaller. And it looks like these essential truths are going to be spread throughout too. A little section. Pretty nice. And one of the first articles on the uniqueness of the Genesis creation story. Nice. So I flipped through this a little bit. I haven't went too in depth because I wanted to give like an honest impression as I'm actually reading it for the first time. But as I'm reading, I do like it. There's a good deal of information in here, and there is a lot of those articles right off the bat. So it's going to be this pretty much throughout. There's nothing that stands out right off the bat. So let's jump a little farther ahead into a poetic section and see how it handles that. So I don't know how well you can see this on Exodus. They're showing a good idea of how the tabernacle is laid out with the basic design of the tabernacle and what is in each section. That's kind of nice. I like that. We'll skip a little farther ahead. The pages in the paper is not super shiny, which is very good for readability. And it looks like the character profiles in here are pretty extensive. They're a little bit better than some of the ones that I've seen that's only been like 1 or 2 paragraphs to give us a short summary. This one's pretty good on Hannah, like a lesser known character in the beginning, at least that I've really related with. So you get these nice drawings like here in 2 Kings, where it's showing King Nebuchadnezzar took thousands of Judean residents as captive in Mesopotamia. So you have these nice little drawings as well. A nice example of what Solomon's temple would look like with the exterior storerooms, the direction it's laid out, the way the altar is laid out, linked all the way into the Holy of Holies. This is pretty nice. Even though this isn't done in any full color illustrations, I do like, it's like the classic just wood carving illustrations that I've seen in these Bibles. It is very clean and it's very tasteful. I do like this. This is a nice example when you're getting into Nehemiah. I like how they broke this down. So very clean and concise, where they broke down the number of Israelite men. Some do a chapter where it's a chapter that it's a repeating chapter over and over again. I like the way they laid that out. And when you get into a poetic section, just like in here in Nehemiah, you can see that there is ghosting, pretty decent amount, but it's not quite line matched. You can see it comes on and off, but it's not overly bad. The bleeding and show through is really subtle. I don't have really bright lights right now, but I think even under bright lighting, it should still be really readable. And I'm really liking how well this gray background and the notes, it's holding up to be able to read through it. So it kind of defeats the show through, and it makes the notes really readable. That is definitely a plus in my opinion. Pretty decent amount. And it says that they're concise notes, and I do see that the notes, they're not going heavily in any real deep dive, but there are some linking to other passages and the way they're doing the cross-referencing. These introductions are nice, clean. So this is a good little concise study Bible that I think it'd be one of the ones that I'll add into my rotation of what I take with me places. I like that too. I've always liked that with the CSB when they get into certain sections, like in Lamentations and in the Psalms, when you have ones that's the alphabetical ones that's going through each of the letters, that it actually puts them in order, puts the actual letter and the name of it beside each paragraph. That's usually how it starts out. It's going all the way through the alphabet, each letter at a time. So it's hard to actually know that it's doing that in the English translation, but I think if you were actually reading this in the original Hebrew, that's how it would line up. Now, as you get into Ezekiel, it looks like the study notes get a little bit better, and I like that they're doing this. Ezekiel's visionary temple, where they show the layout and then an overhead example with the drawing of what it should look like with everything tagged. This looks pretty similar to, like I said before, some of the kind of wood drawings. It's a very nice representation of this. Let's jump ahead a little bit more here. The visual description. So when the section here when they're talking about Nebuchadnezzar's dream that he has to interpret. So how he has a head of gold, chest of arms and silver, stomach and thighs of bronze, legs of iron, feet of iron and fired clay. So it could be kind of hard to visualize this, but I like how it gives that. And then the description, I've seen some of the colored ones that actually give you the colors of what it would look like. But it's a nice overview example. I like this. So it looks like there isn't anything in between, like a harmony or anything of in between the Old and New Testament. But there is an introduction to the Gospel in Acts, just like at the beginning with the introduction to the Pentateuch. Very nice. Introduction page to Matthew. A whole lot of notes on Matthew 1. This is where it seems to have a lot more notes. The beginning of Matthew. It was a bit more concise in the Old Testament. There seems to be a bit more in the New Testament. Now, you'll definitely see that this is a black letter, not a red letter. And you don't have a lot of cross-references on the bottom. They're mainly in the notes themselves. I do like the way that they, went about doing the cross-referencing. And they broke out another introduction to the New Testament letters, just how they had a good introduction of the Pentateuch, the New Testament itself, and now the letters of the apostles. Let's jump a little bit farther and just go all the way to the back and see what we have in the back of the Bible here. Because otherwise it's pretty straightforward and really well done so far. Okay, so after Revelation, you have a table of weights and measures. And then it goes into the CSB Concordance. I really like the way the CSB does most of their concordances. So it is a snippet of the actual text of that section and the verse, chapter and verse for each one. And in the back, they actually have a few Bible reading plans. A good basic 3-year Bible reading plan. It looks like it is straight through. the Word of God in a year. And something that I do like to see on a lot of the Bibles are they have a harmony of the Gospels, where they go through and show you what is referenced in all 4 of the apostles' writings and what location they're in. So you can see the differences when they have sections where they all, like 3 or 4 of them, talk about the same events. So you can see how each one of them might have approached it slightly differently. So just like in any eyewitness account, it may vary some, but it shouldn't be, exactly word for word. And this helps you kind of see the differences of the same section that they're writing about. Then it goes into the maps afterwards. I think there is just an acknowledgement page. So the art credit page. Then it goes into the maps. Now these are a little bit thicker kind of cardstock. Good color maps. Very well printed. Goes into the rear paste-on page in the back. So the back and front have that nice tool design all the way around. Now, basic overviews. This is they're kind of a slightly plasticky version of this LeatherTouch, which I think should hold up well to being put into bags as an everyday kind of carry Bible. So this Bible in this size would be something that would be nearly an everyday carry for me. So it's not overly big, will fit into like the bags that I carry with. And the gilding and the outer itself, I think, is going to hold up fairly well. So that brings to the end of this video. So what we ask is you to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know if you like this or if you have something else that you actually like by Holman as well. And we'll see if it's something we can bring in a future video. So until then, you guys have a nice day, night, evening, wherever you are. And we hope to see you in the next video.